Hey, 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 everybody. What I want to talk about is how we avoid connection, okay? How we avoid having to do the work internally that's required to actually have a connection or union with someone else. There's two ways that people avoid that. One way is having someone there that is there with you that is dedicated to you or loyal to you in some way, that would be willing to make a connection with you. But because you're not connected to yourself to feel connection, because remember, connection has to happen within yourself first. You cannot be connected to somebody else and you're not connected to yourself. Okay, you can think you are. Okay, we can get into a whole nother video on that. You can think you're connected, you can project connections, you can imagine connections, but you can't actually be connected. Okay, so because remember, connection would require you to be able to be with someone else and connect your being with their being, on both levels. Okay, not just in the 3D, not just in the 5D. Okay, but really being able to be present with someone. Well, you can't be present with someone if you don't have a self, meaning you don't even have a relationship with yourself. You don't really know what's going on with yourself. You're not really even connected to yourself, to the point where it can get so bad that some people don't even know that their self is missing. Okay, so how we avoid connection is having someone there that we could be connected with, because if you're truly connected within yourself, you can be connected to anyone that is there with you, wanting to connect with you. Okay, but you'll say, no, we don't have a deep connection. There's just no connection there. So, yeah, we're not connected. Even though, you may have been with this person for years, and there's somebody there, they're willing, they're showing up for you, but you will get away from the person who's showing up for you. Why? Because you don't really want connection. You're actually running from connection. So this person is showing up. They would be willing to connect with you, but you would have to deal with all the reasons that you can't connect, the reasons that you're not connected within yourself. Okay, but you don't want to do that. So then you'll run away from them and you'll go into the other side of the spectrum, which is a fairy tale connection in your mind, which is not a real connection either. Because what do these two connections, or lack of connections, have in common? You don't have to actually connect with anybody. You don't actually have to do the work within yourself and sit in front of someone else and be vulnerable and listen to them and be able to have that emotional intelligence, to have this dialogue back and forth, and really have to deal with your abandonment issues or all of the fears that come from truly having to be connected with someone. So both ways you get to avoid it, because this etheric connection, you don't have to be connected with anybody either, because guess what? That person isn't there. So guess what? You can control it with your own projections. You get to think of it whatever you want to think of it. And the other person isn't there to have to input anything that, how can I say it? Anything that pushes back on you being able to make that connection. So both ways, you don't have to be present. Both ways, either way, you don't have to actually be capable of a connection. But the other one, the fairy tale one, the in your mind one that isn't real either, is, or the lack of connection that you get to perceive as a connection, that one feels better because you get the feelings of like you were actually connected without actually having to be connected. So then you can psych yourself out and say, I'm not disconnected from myself. I'm not lacking connection, because see, I'm connected to this person in my dreams. See how that sounds? So So then you get to just psych yourself out. So then you don't have to deal with the fact that, no, you really don't have a connection. You don't have a connection with yourself, and you're not capable of connecting with anyone else. So that's why you won't connect with the people who are in your life that you could be connected to, because I guess that's all their fault, and they're the reason you're not connecting. And you're expecting the connection to just be there without you having to clear yourself for connection. Because once you have the connection within yourself, your ability to connect actually expands, and it goes beyond one person. It actually transcends into everything. But this etheric, in the mind connection with someone that's still not there, that you don't have to deal with them and their whatever barriers they have, and being able to, push each other's barriers up for clearing back and forth, and the work that requires, and what it's going to require of you, and what you're going to have to do within yourself. You still don't have to do that, because guess what? They're not there. So you can just ignore the fact that you seriously can't connect and that you're not connected. And you can imagine a connection, complete with projections and dreams and things like that, without actually having to have one. So either way, guess who doesn't have to have a connection? Guess who doesn't have to deal with all of the things within themselves to actually truly be able to connect? But that etheric connection feels better, because like I said, you get to psych yourself out that you're actually connected. So that feels better than the other option of someone willing, someone that's actually showing up for you, that you're not able to connect with because you're not connected within yourself. That's going to show you more of what's missing. See, with the fairy tale in the head, you don't have to really notice what's missing, because you can come up with a theory and you can have all of these reasons why, and you don't actually have to deal with the truth. So that's why more people opt for that. But real connection is actually going to be both worlds. Okay, and true connection is a back and forth between two people. Where you're both pushing each other's barriers up, and then you have to discuss them. You have to fight through that and clear it. Sometimes you're going to have to hear things that are coming up from their barriers that are going to trigger something in your barrier, and then you go back and forth. But guess what? The difference is, in connection, you're both showing up for that. It's not going to be one way. You're both there doing it. And it's much harder to do that than it is to just go into la la land of a connection that's based on, I had a dream, we stared at each other. Like, this stuff is not connection. Like, if you're thinking that this is connection, we stared at each other. We were staring because obviously we're connected. That's why we were staring. Or, having dreams. And I'm going to tell you, these things come up, these people come up to show you just how much you're not connected. But instead of seeing that, you see connection, because you want to see connection. And because I'm going to tell you, I've had that with multiple people. I actually had it with a family member. Is that family member my twin flame? No, because it's not about that. This is something spiritual that's coming to show you the condition of your soul, that is coming to show you your state. It's triggering all this madness in you, not because this is something special. It's triggering all this madness in you because that madness is in you. And it's giving you a situation that's saying, hey, look, there's a lot of fucked up shit going on inside of you. That's what it's for. But because we're so not looking at that, and we're seeing what we want to see, we say, no, this is happening because this is something special. Because I'm telling you the truth, if you were actually doing the work, and you did the work when that person came in, and you didn't get into this is my twin flame, and you just looked at, wow, what is this coming up in me that I'm trying so hard, I want connection so bad that I'm willing to connect with eye staring, with eye contact, and I'm willing to make this mean that this person is connected to my soul. Or I have a dream, and I'm willing to make this mean that this person is the person I'm supposed to be with and leave my family. See, you're supposed to be looking at why would you do that? Why would you think that based off of something so menial and nothing as that? Do you know how many people you can have dreams about? I'll tell you this, okay? And a lot of you can attest to this. There are a lot of you that I've been teaching in the dream state for months before you ever encounter me on the channel. So how many of you have already known me before you got to this channel? I've had this discussion with many of you. Am I your twin flame? Are we in some type? No. See, these are spiritual things that people are trying to bring down to such a low level of just romance and relationships. When these are things, these are people that are on your soul's path. So the people that were dreaming of me before they met me, or whether it started afterwards and I'm teaching you in the dream state, it is because I am a part of your soul's journey. Okay, so whether you follow that or not, that's up to you. But that person is too, and they're showing you something. It doesn't mean that you're attached to your soul, and this is something that is meant to be, this is something that is just, meant to be this divine soul connection. You wouldn't know that. You'd have to be interacting with the person. You'd have to be building something with this person to even be able to, remotely see that. And they would be seeing it too. If that were the truth, they would be seeing it too. They would be feeling the connection. They would be showing up, because just as much a real connection, just as much as you feel it, the other person feels it too. And so all of this whole phooey about, people are meeting each other, locking eyes, having a dream, then running from each other. This is nonsense. That's not what is going on here. It is, but it doesn't mean what people think it means. It means that's all it was supposed to be. Nobody is leaving you that's supposed to be there. And nobody can leave you who didn't choose you to begin with. How can they leave you if they never chose you? How are they leaving you? How are they running from the connection? How can you be so sure they felt it? Because then people will get into, I read their mind. How do you know that? The only way you know that, go to them. I dare you. I double dog dare you to go to them with what you think you read in their mind and ask them were they thinking that. And I guarantee you 99% of the time they were not thinking any of that. Because you can hear yourself and think it's them. Because your desire is just that strong. And remember, that's what obsession is. Okay, obsession is not about what's real. It's about what you want. And so if you lack connection within yourself to such a strong degree that you desire it so strongly, you can manifest the whole world around that, because your desire is so strong. And that's what obsession is. Obsession is desire overpowering reason. Okay, so it's not about what's real. It's about how deep your desire is. You could be completely wrong. That person could. This is where you actually have to have connection to know these things. You have to actually get connected to that person. See how they really feel. Have a conversation with them. But to think that apart from all of that, all of this stuff about this person. I'm telling you, if you go long enough and you push hard enough, a lot of people are going to be really shocked when these people blow up and be like, what is wrong with you? Like, I'm not thinking any of that. Because it's not about that. It's to show you something. It's to catalyze you. Let it do that. For most, that is what's occurring. Okay, so just something to think about. Just something to think about, all right? Remember, guys, enter to win the $100 gift certificate. You can send in a video review. No more than 2 minutes long. It can be 30 seconds long. Just saying whatever you want to say, and you can win If you were thinking of doing like a soul healing session with me, or reading, or, taking the boot camps, there's your free ticket. There's your free ticket. Send the video in. Okay? Thanks, guys. I love you. Talk to you later. Bye.